Biden folks, they've announced a new rule that will all but ban migrants at the border. Here's some details about this rule that goes into effect tomorrow. President Joe Biden's administration on Thursday will begin denying asylum to migrants who show up at the U.S. Mexico border without first applying online or seeking protection in a country they passed through, according to a new rule released Wednesday. It's part of new measures meant to crack down on illegal border crossings while creating new legal pathways, including a plan to open 100 regional migration hubs across the Western Hemisphere, administration officials said. Now, this severe measure is still a lot less strict than the one that was released in 2019, the rules that the Trump administration tried to push through, but for federal appeals court saying not so fast and striking them down. But here, the Biden administration really is painting this rule that's coming out as a way of reducing the number of migrants that are showing up at the border while still allowing a chance for asylum to be achieved. Because right now it's about to be an unprecedented surge in migration. Check this out for the AP. Economic and political instability around the world is fueling the highest levels of migration since World War II, including in the Western Hemisphere, the rule said. With known crossings from Mexico reaching an all-time high last year due to an unprecedented exodus of migrants at different times from countries such as Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, Ecuador, Haiti, Nicaragua, Peru, and Venezuela. I wonder if there are any other countries on that list that the US has not ardently worked to destabilize. Well, a lot of groups who help migrants, they have called it life-threatening and misguided. They think that these penalties are extremely harsh, and that's something that Francesca and I will talk about. But first, these are the penalties involved. Once the change happens, migrants caught crossing illegally will not be allowed to return for 5 years, and they can face criminal prosecution if they do. The administration said in the new rule that as many as 11,000 migrants per day could try to cross the border after Title 42 lifts, absent any changes. The Democratic administration will return migrants from Haiti, Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua to Mexico if they do not apply online, have a sponsor, and pass a background check. It will admit 30,000 per month from those nations to the US with legal papers to work for 2 years. Mexico will continue to take back the same number who cross illegally. Now, this definitely seems pretty callous, and there are limited exceptions. The rule does not include room for exceptions for anyone with an acute medical emergency or facing imminent and extreme threat to life or safety, such as an imminent threat of rape, kidnapping, torture, or murder. It does not apply to children traveling alone, however, but will apply to families. Wow, many people are fleeing persecution out there, and qualifying for asylum is so rare. This new rule really seems kind of almost like a death sentence to many people who are coming to the United States because they need help. Am I reading this wrong, Francesca?
No, I think you're absolutely right. And actually it's not that different from, as you spoke of, Trump's new rules that he tried to impose that everyone also freaked out about legitimately. I mean, here's the deal. Our entire immigration system is completely broken. And so it is absolutely unfair to put this on migrants themselves. The fact that we take so long to process immigrants who do even apply legally, right? The fact that the immigration courts are insanely understaffed. There's the backlog is tremendous, and we don't actually have a smooth work visa program so people can safely enter or exit. So there's a lot of different reasons people come to the United States. They can be economic, but they can also be, for fear of their lives. And when you seek asylum, it is because you are afraid for your life. Because the situation in Haiti, I don't know, the president was murdered, right? There are gangs roaming the street. Your entire family was threatened, and your country cannot and can no longer keep you safe. Again, thanks to a lot of legacies of US involvement as well. So the solution is big, but this stopgap measure will lead to more death. The stopgap measure I wish we had was let's allow people to seek asylum again after Title 42, goes away. Let's just have them, and then we will deal. We will go case by case, but in the meantime, they will be out of harm's way. But of course, because that politically would supposedly look bad, because we face a Republican Party that relishes in cruelty. The Biden administration is too afraid to do exactly that because it's too afraid to be seen as being kind to migrants.
God forbid, God forbid we look to take care of humans. But then again, since our nation is kind of built on exploiting humans by way of indentured servitude and slavery, it kind of makes me think that this is almost par for the course. The thought that, hey, I know you really need help, and I know that we've maybe created circumstances in which the nation that you are living in can no longer protect you or take care of you, but don't come to our door. And also the way that this is structured in terms of not having any exceptions for people who are dying or who are facing imminent threat in any way, but there will be exception for someone traveling as a child, that is gonna result in individuals leaving their children. Because they know.
It already has, yeah.
Oh, exactly, and it's gonna be even worse. We are gonna have so many children, and since we know how much child sex trafficking goes on here, particularly in the United States, all it's gonna do is fuel that industry. Is the Biden administration ready for that?
I mean, that's truly like, first of all, I mean, that's truly what, the right claims to care about children, right? But as long as you're documented. If you're not documented, and you're non-white, then you can kind of like, I don't care what happens to you. You can be trafficked. You can also end up working in a factory at age 12. You know what I mean? In Arkansas. Thank you, Governor Huckabee Sanders. I want to correct something. I don't know if I think this may be different where they will not be accepting children, minors anymore. So that's interesting to note that they will only be accepting families. Which may reduce the amount of people who do send minors across the border, hoping that they will find a better life or be united with somebody who lives in this country. So anyway, that's something, it's such a big story, Adrienne. There's a lot more to talk about.
For real, because I thought that the treaties and humanities rule require us to accept children. Because when I was over in Israel, that's why they accept Palestinian children who come over who are being persecuted because they're queer or there's something different about them. That Israel accepts them with open arms and takes care of them, and also will find new homes for them, whether it's in Canada or somewhere safe for them. That's an international rule you have to abide by.
Right.
But we'll see.
Unfortunately, the United States and Israel both violate international law on the regs. So
there are some things to work out for sure.